It's a new year, but the Bang Brothers are back with the board. Here we go. It's the Lapdown Podcast, and it's another tier list special. And this time, we're doing a tier list of all of the driver logos for the 2025 lineup. And doing that with me is Dan Jatz. Dan, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. You know, we haven't done many tier lists, but it does feel like we're at the bottom of the barrel here. There's all kinds of things.
Liveries, logos.
Genuinely. No. Because we did. What did we do? We did races, didn't we? We did races.
Yes.
We've completely avoided liveries. We've completely avoided helmets. We've completely avoided drivers. We've completely avoided what we think might happen next year or this year even, and all this other stuff. And we've just gone, you know what? He sent me a thing in. It says Logos Pilotos 2025.
Logos Pilotos. Yeah.
So
we've got 2 more months, mate. We've got plenty of time to talk about drivers yet.
Yeah, we've got some dead
Still
time.
a long way from racing. Miles away.
Dead time. But I'm excited.
Yeah, here we go. We had a little chat before this, and spoiler alert, Dan found it quite hard to find some of these that he liked. So this could be a relatively spicy one. But yeah, we've basically got all 20 logos for next year. We'll break them down. We'll stick them on a board, deciding what is excellent and what is garbage. And then we have a podium and a wodium to award at the end.
I love a podium and a wodium. Do you know? I actually think they should have a wodium celebration at the end of each race.
Why not?
No,
or just
not necessarily
the wodium wanker, just one bloke that has to go up there as well.
Imagine the size of Lance Stroll's trophy cabinet if there was a wodium. And it wouldn't even be for the person that actually finished last each race. It would just be the person that had the biggest shit show of a weekend.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's not, because you can finish last and have driven a decently clean race.
Yeah. It'd give his mum something to polish, wouldn't it, on a weekend?
Absolutely. I'm not going into that territory. So we have devised another tier list. It's another Bang board. This time, we're borrowing our colors from the sport of which we love. So we can set some purple sectors for our very top-rated, absolute favorite logos. We can set some personal best sectors in green. And, yellow sectors, it could still be a quick yellow sector. It's just not your best. So that's where we're sitting in the middle. And then
where
we start to get...
Lando did a quick yellow sector, didn't he? And you got told off for it. Can't remember. Yeah.
Qatar.
There you go.
And then we're going to Flagtown. The red flags and the almighty, your logo is so bad you've been disqualified, black flag is where we're going. But we've got all 20 drivers to race through. We've got opinions from both of us on these. This is definitive for the year ahead. I think we can learn a lot about who's going to have a good year based on where they finish on the board here.
That makes sense to me. What were your, without kind of going into specifics, but what were your overall kind of thoughts and opinions when you looked at when you stumbled across this graphic for the first time?
I think you can tell which drivers put effort in, and you can tell which drivers don't give a fuck. I think you can also tell which drivers think of themselves more as a personal brand and which drivers see themselves as a racing driver in the logo.
Okay.
I think that's quite
sense.
apparent. I think there's some generational obviousness as well. There are some quite old school logos for some of the guys that have been around a little bit longer, and then some quite esporty logos from some of the younger lads. But and there's a large amount of stink coming off some of them is the other early takeaway.
The thing that I really struggle with is, obviously, it's not a cheap sport, is it, to get to when you get to that level? And you must, at some point in your mind, think there's got to be a way that I can kind of recoup some of this money that's been spent on me to get to where I need to be. And they spend so much time faffing and tarting around with like special helmets every other weekend because they once had an auntie that went on holiday to Cyprus once, and Cyprus is vaguely near Qatar. So therefore they'll kind of go, well, this is my auntie's holiday helmet from 1998 for the Qatar Grand Prix type thing. And how on earth some of them have just gone, it's fine. Well, I don't understand. But maybe they just don't care. Maybe they've got so much money that they literally do not care what their logo looks like. But I don't necessarily buy it. I don't buy the fact they don't care, because they're all a bit tarty, aren't they? These blokes, like, they all wander into the paddocks with their like 500-pound sunglasses on and special jeans and stuff like that, and they like a photo shoot here and there, and then they'll just go, and here's my logo, and it's just a steaming pile of dog turds.
It's interesting though, because I feel like some of the drivers really push their logos forward, and some of the drivers, I think, forget they even have a logo.
Well, I'm
Like
not
some of
surprised looking at
these,
the state of them.
but some of these I didn't. It's like the first time I'm seeing these. Well, I'll cover them more when we get to it, but there were a couple of like jump scares for me in here that I just think, I've never seen this on your helmet. I've never seen you release
No.
merch with this on. I've never seen this on your socials. And then there are others that will take every opportunity possible to throw the logo at you. It's just, yeah, it's very much one or the other. You don't sort of, there's a couple of logos maybe that I went, yeah, I think I've seen that before. But it tends to either be logo spam or absolutely no logo use whatsoever.
Yep. I think that's fair.
Should we dive in?
Let's do it, mate. Let's do it. Where do you, who and where do you want to start with?
Look, we might as well work through team by team, and we'll go in the order of the Logos Pilotos 2025. Thank you to Reddit for providing a handy all-in-one graphic. I don't know who posted it on there. I assume they're probably Spanish. So we'll go there. And look, it's a reasonably logical place to start because he's bloody good at what he does. Max Verstappen, what do you reckon, Dan?
I quite like it. You know, I can kind of see what they tried to do, but they haven't quite done it. I think you can kind of see there's an attempt at an M and a V there. Well, there's certainly a V. And maybe if they'd just used a bit of that kind of gap in the V there to create a bit of other kind of dead space type thing, you could have had an M. But I think it's okay. And I think in comparison to the rest of them, I think it's probably bloody brilliant, to be fair. But it's certainly not making my podium. That's for sure, because it's not quite right.
Interesting. See, I was going to throw him straight into purple.
Why?
I think it's just a very nice, clean logo.
Is that
And
because
I
we've been
do-
slagged off by some Dutch Formula One fans on TikTok
No,
recently,
I
and you
don't
feel
give
like
a
you need to
fuck
get a few
about
of them
the
back on
Dutch.
your side?
I don't give a fuck about the Dutch or the French, which is hard to do in F1.
Colonies,
No,
unbelievable.
I just think it's really clean as an icon logo. I'm a big fan of like a really clean glyph to get all creative and technical on you. I think it does nicely as an M and a V. It's got a weird trophy vibe to me. I don't know why, bearing in mind it looks nothing like a trophy.
I think Robbie
but
Williams designed it.
I could see it being an actual trophy. I thought it was really strong. I'm willing to compromise on a green, but I feel like the amount of those that I was going to suggest to be purple is probably quite limited. That it mightn't be too bad to have one up there. But
What if we go green, and then if we'll get to the end of it, there might be an adjustment.
yeah, someone
end.
might get a lap time deleted.
Yeah,
and
the stewards might look at it.
pops the
and-
purple sector.
All right,
Yeah.
fine. Max, well done. That's the highest you'll ever be on one of our tier lists. Right, his new teammate, and I don't really think we have to spend too much time thinking about Liam Lawson's, because I doubt he's going to be in the sport for very long anyway. So it seems wrong to speak about Liam Lawson's logo before we speak about Lando Norris's logo.
And then it
How
seems
there hasn't been some form of copyright infringement here from Liam Lawson to Lando Norris's. It's kind of like, and there probably isn't that big of an age difference between the two of them, but it's kind of like the kid in year 6 has got this new logo, and his little brother in year 3's kind of gone, yeah, I want a logo too. And the mum's gone, yeah, don't worry about it, do that. And they've just gone, hey, look at my new logo. And Lando sat there going, it's exactly the same as mine, lads.
but then it gets
yeah,
worse.
cool. Oh, it's
Because they've
so
then
much
got-
worse.
No. But then they've got an older brother, possibly from a different marriage, in Lance Stroll, who had the idea before both of them.
True.
Because Lando Norris has just copied Lance Stroll, and then
a
Liam
great
Lawson's
point.
copied Lando Norris.
It's
and
a
if we're
great point.
copying Lance Stroll for anything in Formula One, you're making a bad choice. Look, it's a genuinely it's a shit logo, isn't it?
It's terrible.
I've tried to find a redeeming quality in it. I can't find one. I will say, before I go in too hard on it, it might just be our Logos Pilotos graphic in particular, but they had to have lifted this logo from somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't even think the 7 is the same size as the L,
Is that a 7?
and that bothers me.
I thought
Well,
that was
that's
an
his number,
upside down
isn't it?
L.
Yeah, but isn't
thought
he
that
number
was-
7?
I thought that was Liam and then Lawson.
Yeah, but I think, isn't he racing in number 7?
I don't know.
Isn't that his number?
I thought it was 2 L's.
I'm now
Just
Googling.
one
Liam
way
Lawson
round and one
racing
the other
number.
way round.
Oh, no, he's 30. So I take it back. It's just 2 L's.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he was... I was attributing him far more cleverness to his logo than his logo's even got. We might need a tier below black. What's worse than a black flag in Formula One?
Lance Stroll?
Ball of fire.
Well, yeah,
We need a ball of fire tier.
yeah.
Wow. There's not a single redeeming quality about it. He's copied someone else worse, and it doesn't make any sense because it's not 2 L's. I thought it was L7, because I don't know why, but I'd convinced myself that he was number 7.
No, it's an English L and then a New Zealand L because one of them's upside down.
That might be the most clever thing you've ever said.
Equators,
that one,
isn't it?
actually.
The other thing as well is like, why is one of it negative space? Why is the outline for that other one so thin? There is so much bad about it that it's awful. Why is it in italics? Like, I don't really see. I don't know. I don't know whoever thought I think Liam Lawson's designed that himself. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll put it out there. That's what I think happened.
I can't get my head around the fact it's not a 7. I feel so stupid now that his number is not number 7. But
we've been speaking about it for 2 minutes and it's still not a 7.
Every sign pointed to that being a 7.
Yeah.
That would have explained the negative, inverted colors. It would have explained it being lesser in the background. It would have explained it existing in the first place. He's not number 7.
No.
Oh, pack it all up, lads. You know what? You know what? Stick Yuki in the car. I've had enough. Liam, go.
Yeah, you've been black flagged.
We're getting Franco in. Franco's having a racing ball. Yuki's coming into the main team. And you, my friend, can fuck off across the Tasman again because that's a disgrace.
Unlucky. Oh, well, next.
Black tier. Okay, now let's talk about the same logo again, Lando Norris. It's a lot better. It's a lot better than Liam's effort. It's actually quite a clean logo. If Lance Stroll's didn't exist, I would feel a lot better about Lando's logo.
Yeah.
But there are so many similarities between them. It's a good logo still. I won't take anything away from that. And I think it probably sits the top end of yellow, maybe poking into green, just because it is on its own, a good logo. It maybe gets bumped down to yellow because he's copied someone else's logo. But at least in this instance, I think he's copied someone else's logo. And I'm not even going to say it's better. It's not worse than Lance Stroll's logo. They're just different letters, basically. It's as if they're on the same team. When we had that with McLaren for a bit, when they had Danny, Rick, and Lando, and they sort of gave them, I know they had their own separate driver logos, but they, had them being similar. Team Lando Stroll. Look, stick it yellow for me. Thoughts?
I actually really like it.
Oh, here we go.
But I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that I don't really acknowledge Lance Stroll to exist, or he wouldn't be a Formula One driver or any kind of person, body whatsoever. So I hadn't even clocked at the fact that kind of the Lance Stroll logo was fairly similar to the Lando Norris one, which was then, of course, fairly similar to the Liam Lawson one. So that's bad prep on my part. I quite like the fact that the ends of the L and the ends are kind of cut off at a bit of a jaunty angle. I quite like the fact that it's not symmetrical. I like it. I think you can add another little thing to this, and I don't know whether you've noticed it, but actually the negative space in the middle makes a 4. So you've got L, and then you've got the N, and then you've got a nice little 4 through the middle, and I don't think you get that with Lance Stroll, because I don't think that looks like a number. So you can trick your eyes two ways. You can either see it say LN, or you can see a nice little 4 in a black box. And I quite like that, how that works. I had it in purple, but I think we can kind of meet in the middle there and stick it in green, and then again see if anybody gets any lap times deleted to see if we can bump a couple of them up.
I hadn't clocked the negative space 4.
Have you done any work for this at all? Like, you've had this Logos Pilotos 2025 for way longer than I have.
You didn't even know that Lance Stroll had a logo. Let's be careful about who we're talking about. Prep, son.
Right, fine.
No, I had only seen an L and an N. I had not clocked the 4. I think the 4 is indeed very clever. It's like the FedEx logo. I will certainly bump it up into green for that. Well done.
Wonderful.
No, that's
wonderful.
And now I can only see a 4. It's not an L and an N anymore. It's just a 4 now.
Yeah,
it's all I can see.
It's tricked your brain. It's clever. It's clever. It's whimsical, and I like it. Let's talk about your countryman, Oscar Pastry, or Oscar
Yes.
Piastri. And unless I'm missing anything, it's kept it fairly simple to the
Yes.
point that I would look at it and I'd say actually maybe he should be called George Piastri because it looks like a G and a P. I'm not sure the benefit of the little kind of cutout and then just the single floating cube of black between them. Personally, I don't really have a great deal to say about it other than the fact that I think it just sits straight in the middle because I just don't think it's very good.
Yeah, I thought it looked a little bit like a logo for a go-karting place, as opposed to a person. It's a little bit tracky. I know a lot of them try and be tracky, but that one in particular felt really tracky because I don't really know what the dash is. It's like he's going through his angsty rebel teen phase and did a dashed eyebrow. Is what he's sort of done with his own logo.
Is it a Tim Tam or something like that?
No, it's not. It's not. Although, to be fair, the inner space, the negative space inside the P is kind of Tim Tam shaped. But look, it's an objectively inoffensive but unimpressive logo, isn't it? I think it's the firmest yellow that can possibly be given. I think we need to make sure that sits perfectly central in the rankings.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can stick him in yellow. Yeah, inoffensive, uncreative. To be fair, it is a little bit creative, but yeah, whatever.
I'm now crossing my eyes trying to see an 81 in it somewhere because now I'm really upset about the Lando Norris 4 thing. And I'll be doing that for every single logo from now on. Right then, we're going to Ferrari. Charles Leclerc. His logo looks like it could be a class in Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, I think I prestiged to that level once.
Yes. Yeah, it's like Prestige 4, where you're not good, but you've played a lot. So you've just got there via an accumulation of XP rather than having got there on merit, is what I would say.
You've got a negative kill-death ratio. You've lost more games than you won, but because you played it for the last 5 years, you've got yourself to Prestige 4. And actually, you're just into Prestige 4, so you've worked all your way through, got all your attachments.
Yeah.
And for some ridiculous reason, and I've never been able to work this one out with Call of Duty, you get to start again with nothing. Yeah. What's the point?
You got to have some sort of replay cycle, don't you?
Stupid.
I didn't think that Charles Leclerc's logo felt very Charles Leclerc-y. Which, I don't look at that. I don't claim to know Charles Leclerc at all or know anything about his personality or whatever.
Probably
but I just don't look at that logo and think, pretty boy from Monaco with a puppy. It just doesn't have that vibe to me. It's a bit pointy for Charles Leclerc. I don't feel like he's got that many corners.
Yeah, it's quite angular, isn't it? It's quite rigid. And he feels, similar to you, I don't know him. I've never touched him, but he feels like quite a soft character.
Yes.
And I don't know whether the pointy kind of angular bit. And the other thing as well, I don't like the fact it's not symmetrical. I know you can't make a C and a V symmetrical, but there you go, the L. I even thought it looked like a V. Well, that probably speaks volumes, doesn't it? Is it in with Oscar in the middle because he's kind of tried?
I think it's fine. It's fine as a logo. It just doesn't feel. Again, it's pretty unremarkable, I think.
Right, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Why there isn't just an emoji goat above Lewis Hamilton's name, I don't know. I might actually have to do some research here and find out what this Lewis Hamilton logo actually is because.
Well, you do that, and I'll wax lyrical about the fact that it's very pretty.
Okay. Yeah, you go for it.
It's very Castor. I know Lewis Hamilton came first in that battle. It's very pretty, and it's the opposite of Charles Leclerc. It's a very Lewis Hamilton logo for me. I look at that, and if we'd have taken the names off all of these from underneath and just looked at the logo, I would have gone, that's probably Lewis Hamilton's. It's sort of grand and elegant and classy. It looks expensive as fuck. A little bit like him.
Yeah, I still haven't got to the bottom of what it actually... Okay, hang on. I don't know whether any of this actually means anything, but it says here, and this is the first thing that's popped up on Google, so it must be true.
Yes.
To use the precision, sleek stealth, and powerful agility of a panther as an analogy, and the bold icon for Lewis's driving style and fashion-forward thinking. The core logo is an interpretation of a panther emerging from the dark shadows of the night just before he takes its prey.
Well, that is a load of wank.
Yeah.
It's a lovely logo, but that is
Yeah.
a lot of wank.
I thought they might have been like wings or something.
Yep, I was going wings, I was going phoenixy, I was going,
Yeah.
I wasn't going horny panther in the night or whatever the long description there.
No.
Pouncing.
I can't see it either.
No, if anything, it's more of a deer. I could see a front.
No, I've seen it.
What?
I've seen it. I've seen the panther.
I'm blurring my eyes. Hang on.
I've seen the panther.
They're not wings. They're eyes. Top
They're
corners,
eyes.
aren't they? They're
It's
eyes.
an eye.
There it is. I've got it. Yeah. If they're eyes, why do they have feathers?
I don't know, but I'm never going to be able to look at this stuff ever again in the same way ever before in my life. That looks the bollocks.
It's got feathery eyes.
That actually, okay, right. Okay, so I agree with everything you said because I believe that you could put that in some form of like purple with covered in diamonds and stuff, and it would look, and it would be expensive. But the fact that you can actually see that there's a panther, the eyes, and I guess that's probably the bottom of its nose, that looks. That looks.
But then why it's got feathers for eyes? I don't get it. I can absolutely see the horny striking panther.
I need to change my podium. I need to change my podium. That's
we're
purple.
both agreed it's purple, aren't we?
That's gone purple.
For one
That's
reason
so
or another,
good.
it's purple. But
That's so good.
we've taken that was a crazy multiple safety car wet weather race to get there, wasn't it?
There's a couple of ESCs going on, and
It was. And a controversy. Michael Massey was in charge of it. We didn't quite understand what he was doing. Wow.
We have done 20 minutes and we've done six.
It's fine. We're moving through because there's some absolute stinkers that we don't have much to talk about coming up.
Yeah.
George Russell's next. George Russell, one of the cleverer logos, I think, on the grid because there's quite a bit to unpack there and it sort of forms quite a nice logo, I think.
Yeah.
I've got a G, I've got an R, I've got a 6, I've got a 3. At the end of the day, getting all of those things in together in one icon that still looks kind of sporty and cool, it feels very race car driver to me as well. Modern race car driver.
It feels like something you could create on like F1 career mode, doesn't it? It's kind of one of those logos. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's at that kind of 27-degree angle or whatever it is, but it's fine.
It's going up, mate.
Oh, okay. Green?
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah,
well done,
I think
George.
green.
Good for you. I will say as well, this tier list has got blokes in their old overalls, so you'll just have to use your own kind of imagination to see that Lewis is now wearing red. Okay, probably one of the coolest names in Formula One next year, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. And what we'll hear over the radio is, Andrea Kimi, George is faster than you. Maybe. Who knows? But do you know what? And I think we spoke about it either at the beginning or before we started. And these guys, they've been working hard. They're about 12 years old, and they've come up through the ranks at Formula One, and they've probably been working hard on driving and simulator time and diets and running 5Ks and skiing in the winter and trying to flirt with sexy models on Instagram and stuff like that. And I suspect kind of the logo work probably isn't been the highest of Andrea Kimi Antonelli's work as a 12-year-old. And to be fair fucks to him for finding that font because, I mean, it's quite snazzy. It works. It doesn't work on any form of merchandise. Like, you couldn't put that on top of a helmet. It's just a name at the end of the day. And I don't necessarily think the font is... I don't know anything about Andrea Antonelli.
No.
So... I don't think there's much I can say about it.
No. Kimi Antonelli's logo for me is very interesting because he is, as you've said, young guy, new to the grid, basically 12 years old. And yet his logo is the logo of a company that makes candles and purses for middle-aged women because that is the Cath Kidston logo font. You cannot convince me that is not a Cath Kidston collection of a range of candles that this one smells like Kimi Antonelli. Like, I just don't get it for a 19 or whatever he is year old F1 driver, how we've landed on that. And look, I'm not going to get into a name thing, right? Andrea, obviously, a multi-gender name. Plus that font, it's yelling... independent candle brand to me. It's not yelling very quick child in a race car.
Well, at least he's got something to fall back on if Formula One doesn't work out.
Oh, there's money in candles.
Yeah.
There's so much money in
And
candles.
I think probably what he's done is he's typed his name out on Word and then just sat there with his mouse wheel and just scrolled down the different fonts, and he's just gone, that'll do. So I'm going to red flag him.
Ready? Yeah, 100%.
Wonderful.
Fernando Alonso has got the most old school logo of the lot, I think.
Yeah.
It's very Fernando Alonso in a weird way. It's it's elegant and then gets really spiky and aggressive at one point. I've got an A, and then I've got a lightning bolt, which is sort of cool.
I thought that was an arrow.
Well, yeah, it's sort of a lightning arrow in the same way that Lewis has got a phoenix cougar. So
You might be interested in buying one of Andrea Kimi Antonelli's candles.
I think it's fine. I think it's probably yellow. I don't find it particularly lovely, but I don't find it offensive.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I was going to say it could do with an update, but I don't necessarily know whether Fernando Alonso's got a huge amount of years left in Formula One to warrant bothering an update on it anyway. So I think for a bit of respect for the old man, I think we just stick him in yellow and just say thanks for coming and don't worry about it too much.
He doesn't strike me as a bloke that's that fussed about his logo.
No,
I don't think he's a big
fact
branding boy.
The fact there's an arrow at the end of his signature, I suspect, indicates the fact he doesn't give a shit. Okay, right. Let's talk about the OG. Lance Stroll.
LS.
The OG of Formula One driver logos with L as the first initial. Yeah, as we've said, he's done exactly the same as what Lando's gone on to do, and he's done exactly the same as what Liam's gone on to do. Lando, I would say, has gone on and done it better. Liam, I would say, has somehow gone on and made it worse. I don't... Oh, hang on. Oh, I've done it again. I've done it again. If you turn it 90 degrees to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I don't think Lance Stroll's number 5 anyway, is he?
No.
16? Yeah,
think,
well, in which case that's bollocks then, because I found a 5 in the middle of his logo if you turn his logo 90 degrees to the right.
Yeah. No, I want to give him green because a lot of people yelled at me for being rude to Lance Stroll. And I want to give him green because he was the OG of that logo. But then, as you've pointed out, Lando's is better, and I don't think it's as good as Lando's now because of the Mystery 4.
Yeah.
High yellows.
Yeah.
High yellows for me.
It's fine, Lance. Well done. That'll be the highest you ever rank on one of our tier lists. So
there it is. Pierre Gasly plays a lot of EAFC, evidently, because that is the EAFC logo.
I think he had it first, to be fair.
Yeah. It's just, I can't not see the EAFC logo. I can see a P and a G. It's a pretty cool shape. It would look good on a hat. That's been one of my big measures of logo quality is, would it look good on a hat?
Yeah.
And I think it would look good on a hat. But yeah, no, I think it weirdly looks, and I don't know why, very French to me. It looks like a French sports team, and I don't know why, because I sort of thought that, and then I looked at French football team badges. None of them look like that, and yet it feels like it should be that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think it's quite smart. I think it sets out to do what it does quite well. I don't necessarily know. I think you could have done something a bit better with that kind of negative space between the P and the G on that kind of line down. Yeah, it's all right. It kind of looks like something that you and I are obviously both old, but you know when the UK went through that kind of phase of people deciding that they could all ride around skateboards and everybody wore like airwalk trainers and stuff like that, and they all went to all sports and bought stuff. I don't know. You are old, but I don't think you're in the UK at that point. But I'm sure Australia probably had a similar kind of revolution at that point because we're all kind of the same people at the end of the day. But it kind of feels like that. It feels kind of like very early 2000s. Long hair, skateboard kind of chat. But yeah, I don't really care too much about it, to be fair. So I'm quite happy just to sling it straight down the middle.
Yeah, I think so.
Well done, Pierre. Right. Jack Doohan.
Yeah. Half a logo?
Yeah, I don't know what the little triangle score in the end.
Why are we only using half of the available space in the box for our logo? Like, did you put something heavy on top of the logo?
I like the J.
Yeah, But why are we only half the height?
I don't
It's
know.
a letterbox logo.
Kind of looks like the Pixar lamps kind of falling down and jumped on it a couple of times, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
It's exactly what's happened.
The D,
It also kind of looks like JO.
the D's awful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of quick with the flashy bits.
No, it's not. And when you zoom out as well, both letters are completely out of proportion. Like the J, when you zoom in, the J looks quite smart on its own, but actually side by side, the J is way too elongated along the bottom.
Yep.
That's a terrible logo.
It just needs to be stretched up, all of it. I think if you stretched it all up, it would actually make it all work better. And
It's
what
not
it
a
did
Liam
give
Lawson.
me big vibes of, this might be an Australian thing. Is the brand Rusty in the UK?
I don't think
It's like
so.
a surf brand, streetwear brand.
Mate, it's about -3 outside every day
Their
over here. We're not
logo-
going to be surfing, are we?
Their logo is an R that gives big Jack Doohan logo vibes. The Australians that watch this will know what I mean. But no, it's not a good logo. It's too small. It's too flat. It's been Pixar'd. I think it's going red, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't quite think it's a Liam Lawson,
No.
but the next one could be.
Yeah, I thought with Esteban Ocon's logo, it's a little bit like when you're playing F124 My Team and you get to start signing some sponsors and they've come up with a load of fake brands for you to put
Good
on
idea.
like the
Yeah.
end plate of the front wing. You can't tell me that EOI is not one of those fake brands, because this EOI wall of Armco barrier that you're heading towards with this logo is offering me absolutely nothing. And last I checked, he's not number 81, as that logo is suggesting.
And he's 31.
Yeah, but we're too
And that is
close to the side wall of the O.
No, I agree. Because when I looked at it, I just assumed it was a logo for someone called Eobi.
Yobi.
I don't like
They
the
make
fact
wonderful power drills, though.
they do. Yeah.
Tools and hedge trimmers.
And if you finish in the top 6 for the next 3 races as well, you get an extra 5% R&D budget for your 2025 car. I don't like the fact that the checkered flag comes at the start of the logo. That doesn't make any sense to me, because the checkered flag always comes at the end.
Also,
And
why is it there? Did they just
equal-
suddenly...
Yeah. You could have just curved that kind of top of the E round and had a nice little kind of bit of some symmetricality, if that's a word, going around that corner. But yeah, maybe like, okay, hear me out. If this is big as well, if he got rid of the checkered flag, scrapped it, changed his racing number to number 3, I think that's getting on there for being one of the best logos on the grid.
It would become a bit front bumpery of a large 4-door family hatchback.
Yeah, but don't worry about that.
It's not good. It's red, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unlucky Esteban. Right, where are we going next? Oh, Ollie Behrman.
Oliver Behrman, who could not have gone more literal, and I'm very here for it. And you can tell that he is 16 years old with this logo, but I've got a lot of time for it.
But there's more.
Oh, I found the OB. Don't you worry about that.
Well, I'm glad you found something in these logos, because I mean, you've been lacking up to this point.
Little OB in the cheeks.
Yeah.
And
It
sorry,
looks like.
I don't wish to be crude, but OB is also going to be in a lot of cheeks now that he's in F1 driver, if he hasn't been already. So it makes a lot of sense on a lot of levels. Sorry to bring the tone down. Carry on.
Back to the pod. It kind of looks like I think there's like a South American football team called like Pumas or Chivas or something like that have pretty much that animal as that exact logo. And what he's done is he's looked at it and gone, that looks amazing. I like that football shirt a lot. How can I make it my own? And he's gone, I'm just going to put a tiny little line through the right-hand side cheek. And therefore it kind of looks like an O and a B. But I really like it. I think it's, on first glance, you think, that's really basic. Because he's just gone, bear, man, bear, done. And then you just do a little zoom and you see the little line and you think, yeah, it's all right. It's up there. I think it's... I mean, I don't think we're getting many on purple, to be fair, but I think it's close. I think it's a greeny purple vibe.
I think I like, compared to the other rookies, a lot of the other rookies have very shit logos and they lack that icon. and you're not putting many, if any, of the other rookie logos on a hat. Again, to use my all-important metric, that's a kick-ass hat with the OB cheeks.
Jumpers.
Purple the cheeks.
Go
If it
on,
wasn't
young
for the
lad.
line in the B, he's not getting purple. That little line getting him in the cheeks is what's got him there.
Makes it.
That's what I would say.
Good on you.
Yuki Tsunoda, what is that?
No idea.
It's just it's used all the ink in the printer. I'll tell you that much straight away. Man's not buying his own ink because that's too much. That's too much. I understand it's Tsunoda and it's a silent T, but why is your logo a giant S?
It looks a bit 1930s Germany as well.
Look, we need to be careful about the territories we get into, but absolutely it looks like late 1930s heading into the early 1940s Germany. I've done exactly what you're doing there. I've become a heron and I've tried to look at it from different angles and I've looked at it closer and further away and then I tilted it and then I rotated it and all I found still was an S. I'm tempted to black flag him for it.
Oh, he's going to be black flagged. I think the thing that makes me extra disappointed about Yuki is like he comes across as quite a fashion conscious man.
Yes.
It's not, admittedly, like I don't think I'd wear it for two reasons. One, because it wouldn't fit, and two, because I don't really think kind of a knitted vest, tank top would be my kind of vibe. But to have kind of that on one hand and then turn up with this is really, really disappointing. So yeah, Yuki, you put him in the Red Bull and then you put Colapinto in the Racing Bull because they're two entirely different things. I think what we've achieved here is now that Liam and Yuki go back into the Racing Bulls and Franco goes in the RB.
Yep. Fine.
Smart.
Sign it off. I'm
Right.
also just the last note on Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh yeah.
He got dealt a very good hand with Y and T. Y and T, two very logoable letters
Yeah.
together. Similarly weighted, similarly shaped. There's a lot you could have done with Y and T, my boy, and you decided just to have a kind of British logo without the detail.
It feels like you could do quite a lot with the Japanese kind of vibe as well. Because I mean, they're quite a stylish and advanced bunch, and they're pretty good on graphic design and technology and stuff.
Just the whole language, hiragana and is it kata? I think it's hiragana and katakana. I think that was year 7 Japanese for me.
Right.
Some lovely characters in that language.
Yep.
And he's used none of them. What his is it's like he's tried to use a Japanese character, but he doesn't have the font installed, so it's just rendered itself as a black square. Is how we got to that. That's a Wingdings logo if I've ever seen one. Speaking of which, Isaac Hajar, why have you designed your logo in word art? Because
It's terrible.
Horrific for so many reasons. And I can only imagine he didn't expect to get a call up. I know you said they've been pushing for this for a long time. That is a night before logo because you had to meet the FIA deadline for submitting your logo.
Oh, yeah.
And you've gone, oh, shit. That font looks cool. I can't be flat though because that looks like I've not put any effort in. 27-degree incline. And it's 11:59. Submit it.
Bold.
Make
it bold.
You can't even read it. What does it say? It just said boop. That's what his logo says. It's horrific. It's black.
Oh, I've forgotten somebody.
Who have you forgotten?
I've forgotten Gabriele Bortoletto.
Gabriele Bortoletto.
I could find him quick. 1 second.
Yeah. You find him quick. Should we do him next? We're going out of order, then we're going to loop our orders around, but we might as well
I
do
still
him
need
next.
to find. I need to find his logo. Not his logo. His image.
His face.
I don't have an image. What a handsome young man.
There's a lot of them. Irritatingly so.
1 moment, please, caller. Do 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 do. Yes! I mean, and it didn't break the entire tier list, so happy days. We can go over to Alex Albon.
Alex Albon. I have a slight bone to pick with him.
Oh, yeah.
He had a very cool logo before.
I thought it was
an A. And then he changed his logo. It was an A with an A. It was
Yeah.
sort of an Inception-y A. And then he went to his new logo, which I understand is very clever in a number of ways. And so I'm prepared to let him off, because if this was his logo to start with, I think I would have been a lot more positive about it, because the left-hand side is, I believe, the Thai character for his name, I think, citation needed.
Okay.
So that on the left-hand side there is both forming an A with a negative space A and a Thai character. And then it's obviously his number in a complementary font that, yeah, you know what? It's really cool. But you know what? So was your other logo. So he's actually kind of 2 from 2.
Can you just check your mic?
Can I check my mic?
Because it's gone very quiet.
Hello? Hello from me? No? Oh, I can see my levels are really low. Why are my levels really low? I'll switch over if you want. Hang on. I have a second version of the mic that I may use. Weird that the volume of a low battery mic would just go. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to stay connected, but I'm going to be quieter. Hey, you've got some editing to do in this podcast.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
you
What
wanna-
would I rather be doing?
Do we want to rewind to the start of Albon? When did I disappear?
Let's talk about Alex Albon.
Let's talk about Alex Albon. It's his old logo was really cool. So it makes me feel slightly worse about his new logo, even though his new logo is objectively a very cool logo with a lot going on in it. Because the left-hand side of it, I'm led to believe, is that I don't know what it's the Thai character for. It might be the Thai character for Alex or Albon or Alex Albon or something. But I believe it's a Thai character. And then it's also an AA. And then it's all in the same font. So I like it. But then his old pointy A within an A kind of superhero-y vibes logo was also very cool. It's just, to be honest, he's just kind of good at logos, Mr. Albon.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh, comprehensive, controversial.
All I'm seeing here is a Codemasters video game from a couple of years ago.
Certainly, yes.
Because all I can see is F123.
Yeah, I sort of
That's
see,
it.
yeah, I can see it.
I can kind of I can vaguely see the A and the A, because I can see an uppercase A and then a lowercase A. Clearly, I have absolutely no idea of what a Thai,
Don't speak Thai. Yep.
word or letter or symbol would mean for Alex. So that is completely lost on me. And I also think, not even controversial, I just think the font's a bit wank.
I think the font, they've had to go that font to then match the rest of it. So they were
don't like
forced
it.
into a 23
Don't like it.
font. I would have put him probably green.
Would you?
You're going to put him red. So do we need
Yeah.
to meet in the middle, mix those colors at yellow?
That is how colors work.
That is red and yellow and pink and green.
That is
purple
exactly
and orange
how
and blue.
colors work. Right, Carlos Sainz. Not really
Love
much
it.
to say about this with Carlos.
It's retro.
I can see,
It's lovely.
yeah, I can see speed. I can see its
Yep.
number.
Yep.
That's all I've got.
It's not. He might be the only one actually who hasn't tried to logoify. He is, because Behrman put the line in the beat on Hamilton. One of the only ones that hasn't tried to make it a creative way of my initials or name or whatever.
Fernando, kind of.
what I
Don't
will
know
say-
what that is. Yuki hasn't done a creative way of playing around with his name.
No, he's not done a creative way of doing anything. Carlos Sainz's logo to me looks a lot like a retro diner that serves incredibly good pancakes.
Yeah.
Like real thick, fluffy bastards with like bacon and syrup, and you know it's not good for you, and it's on like the side of a motorway, and it from the outside it's all beat up and stuff, but you just know that you go in there and you get these fluffy little pillows of batter, and everything's good in the world. And for me, Carlos Sainz is a fluffy little pillow of batter. He can go purple for me. I think it's very racery. I think it's clean. I think it's neat. I think it's retro and old school. I'd purple him.
It's just a 55.
Yeah,
Just
but
a
it's
number.
retro. It's a cool font. It's his number. It's got speed. It kind of looks like the racing line around a track. I think it ticks a lot of boxes. I think it ticks a lot of boxes for me. It looks cool on
Wow.
the car. Looks cool on a helmet.
Well, I think
I
it's
don't
terrible.
see any. I don't see any reasons to mark him down.
Fine. Can I talk
Hey.
about Nico Hülkenberg?
You can.
And then you can do you can do the funny, squiggly, wingy Gabriele Bortoletto signature thing from when you were in primary school. You know, we've been quite critical of Andrea and also Isaac for their it's just font, and there you go. I actually really like this from Nico Hulkenberg. I think this is the perfect logo for a man that's getting into his mid-30s from Germany. This is exactly kind of who I am. It's my name. It's fine. Like I think the font is quite smart. I don't know what font it is. I don't think it's anything that he would have had to have downloaded specifically from Google Fonts. I think it probably comes as a pre-installed font on whatever kind of operating system that you're going to use. And I just think it's perfect. I think I like the fact that the Nico is centralized on the Hulkenberg. I love it.
I wrote down, this is the perfect logo for Nico Hulkenberg.
Brilliant.
Because it's not here to fuck around. It's not here to impress anyone. It's not jazzy. It's doing its own thing. It's never scoring a podium, ever. But it's doing a good job, and it's solid, and it's not letting anyone down. It is the most perfect logo for that man. Nothing, no notes.
With that
No
in
notes.
mind, then, because it's perfect for him, is it green or is it purple?
It's purple.
It's purple.
It's perfect. It's perfect for the job that it's trying to do. It is perfect.
Go on, Nico. Right, I think we're going to have fun on the last one.
You know those Instagram videos of like the dude that puts some holes in the bottom of a paint can on a string over a canvas, and he just releases it and then calls himself an artist?
Yes.
This is what the last like 10% of the paint coming out of the can would look like if you didn't have the first 90%.
Nice.
I get it. It says GB. I don't know why he's also an angel. I guess Gabriel. Was Gabriel an angel? Was that an archangel?
So. Yeah.
I'll allow that symbolism perhaps, but you're not. You're a racing driver. It looks a little bit like a cheap cologne brand. I don't hate it, but I hate it all at the same time. And I don't know why the G is also a 9. Why is the G so tall? Why do the legs go on forever? What's going on there?
I don't know.
It's
Do you know what it looks like to me? It looks like a girl called Georgia Beth has gone on holiday to Spain for the first time, 18 years old with her mates, and she's come from a household that have been very strict. No piercings, no tattoos, nothing like that at all. Like this is, and we'll keep your midriff covered and all of this other stuff. And don't you dare go out the house looking like that, Georgia Beth. And I think what she's done is she's gone to Magaluf with her mates, and she's come back with a tramp stamp. And I think that is a Georgia Beth tramp stamp that possibly didn't have enough euros left to do the other wing on the other side of it. So it's kind of, I kind of feel like that's where we are with Gabriele Bortoletto's logo, personally. I don't think it's a particularly bad job for Georgia Beth and her tramp stamp. But I feel, though, that it's potentially not in keeping with the upbringing and the potential kind of options that may or may not have been there. I mean, it's going to be fairly obvious. Like if you wanted a little tattoo for the first time, maybe somewhere a bit discreet that you could cover up and your mum and dad wouldn't see, but each time you go and get the can of Coke from the bottom shelf of the fridge, unfortunately, someone's going to see that tramp stamp.
It's poking out. I'm waiting for you to tell me that this also feathered wing is supposed to be like a tiger's eye or something based on the revelations from Hamilton's logo, but I think it's just an angel wing. There's got to be something in the Gabriel thing, right? I think there has to be.
Yeah, I mean, the best I can do for you is a really poorly drawn cartoon hand for somebody with 3 fingers.
Yeah, it's hailing a bus.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The B is bus. Get on bus. That's
I mean,
what
if you put Yuki Tsunoda's and Gabriele Bortoletto's logo together in 1930s, 1940s Germany, you could be on for a right little party, couldn't you?
What I like is that you keep adding an A onto the end of Gabriel. It's Gabriella now.
He's tried.
Right.
He's tried, but it can't be anything better than a red flag.
Yeah, it's red. It's not an absolute stinker. But it's not great. It's not great.
Okay,
Right
so just
then,
to
here we go.
summarize.
Yeah.
We have got Hamilton, Behrman, Sainz, Hulkenberg in purple, Verstappen, Norris, Russell, green, Piastri, Leclerc, Alonso, Stroll, Gasly, Albon in yellow, Reds, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Jack Doohan, Esteban Ocon, Gabriel Bortoletto. See, I'm learning. Black flags for Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, and Isaac Hadjar, who all ironically are wearing RB Carb racing overalls on this tier list. So there you go. There's your tier list.
We've done well there. We've done well.
Not bad.
Right, here we go then. Let's fire through these, because I think we're going to argue with each other on these. Dan, who are your top 3 driver logos on your podium in order, please?
So I had some names down, and on a bit of a revelation on a couple of things, they have changed.
Oh.
So now the person at the top of the podium, no, hang on, the person receiving their trophy first from the Prince of Transport from the Ministry of Defense.com organization of this kingdom that we're representing is Lando Norris.
Okay.
I like the L and the N. I like the 4 in the middle.
Yep.
Second place, who's going to get a little kind of peck on the cheek from see what I did there, from the Queen Prince of the Department of Environmental Welfare and Parks and Recreations Society, is going to be the young man Oliver Behrman. And then in first place, with the big meaty handshake from the Crown Prince of the entire place, is going to be the panther coming out of the woods, about to attack its prey, and it's going to be Lewis Hamilton. It wasn't.
Panther's got you.
Now it is.
Panther's got you. Interesting. See, I will agree with you that I am putting Oliver Behrman on the podium. Oliver Behrman, 3rd best logo for me. He's on there. It's new. It's funky, fresh, but it's also a little bit clip art, generic esports team logo. Yeah. You're going to hate this one. You might leave the recording for this one. Number 2 on the podium with his retro pancakes is Carlos Sainz, because it's retro and it's fun and it's funky. And then you're definitely leaving the recording when I say that I think the best logo is just a standalone icon is Maxwell. I think it's Mr. Verstappen.
Really?
He's up top there for me. I just
Even
think it's
the
neat,
Panther's
it's
not
clean.
done it for you.
No, the Panther, if anything, is actually taking Hamilton further down, because now I'm confused about why something has feathers for eyes. So
They're called eyelashes.
That's what's happened there. Very long eyelashes that protrude a long way over the eye. And then your Wodium, which is a word that I'm so pleased with.
You've done well.
The worst 3 driver logos, and we'll start with the 3rd worst, and we'll build ourselves up.
I mean, there's a whole plethora of shit to go through.
There's a lot of people lining up.
And it's really difficult to decide as to who's there. But in 18th place, I've gone for Yuki Tsunoda. You?
So have I.
Yeah.
He's made it to the Wodium. He's not completely disgraced himself, but he deserves to be up there.
No. 19th, I've gone for Isaac Hadjar.
So have I. Welcome to the sport, Isaac. Sort your fucking logo out.
And in 20th, and I'm going to take a fair pun here, but I'm going to suggest that 20th is Liam Lawson.
Liam Lawson, what the fuck is that? Liam Lawson's at the top there. I had as an honourable mention. He gets to go up as like the team representative for that 4th mini standalone podium on the side. I put Kath Kitson up there to receive a commemorative candle as well. Kimmy, you need to sort that out, my friend, or you need an icon over the top of it.
Yeah.
But there we go. That is the definitive breakdown of
That's
our
good fun,
Logos Pelotos 2025. There's a lot to unpack there. But thank you for watching and listening again. And if you would like to, you can get involved with us at LapdownPod on Insta and YouTube and TikTok. There will be a new email address soon, but for the time being, you can email us at lapdownpod@gmail.com. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, because I'm off to go and drink cocktails for the next week in Bali. So
enjoy.
I'll be putting my resort shirts to good use. So we'll be back. But we'll tell you what, I know I said we're a long way away from the season, but we're also not that far away from starting to get into testings and rumors and all the rest now. They're actually allowed to work on the 26 cars now as well. That's now legal.
Cool.
So
That'd be stuff we don't understand.
But if they would like to go and see you do things on the internet, Dan, while I'm in Bali, they can do that where?
Yeah, at danjads_. You'll find some various different things going on, and there will be more things coming out. But I've had a bit of a slow start. Well, I haven't had a slow start to the year. I've had a slow start in content for the year. But yeah, we're getting to it. We're getting to it. But enjoy your holiday.
Happy days.
You've been working hard in Australia over the last couple of weeks, and it feels like you've earned a holiday. So good on you. and
Absolutely.
enjoy. See you in a couple of weeks, I guess. You
you in
might
a
even
couple
have
of
a
weeks.
suntan by then.
No promises.